So there were some rumours about KD getting traded to the Suns the other day. After Kyrie got traded, it kind of made sense that they went into a rebuild direction. There was this tweet by Mikal Bridges as well, which kind of indicated that as well. And since those rumours, Bridges has actually been playing really well with Booker out. He's been averaging 23 points on 46% shooting from the field. So it's pretty likely that after the Kyrie trade, KD went to the general managers about the direction of the Nets and their ability to contend, which is what would have led to the trade. So basically, Phoenix sent Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jae Crowder, 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap for KD and TJ Warren. It is a very big package to send for KD, but I suppose the thinking is that his contract goes all the way through to the 2025-26 season. Trading for him means that he's going to hang around for a while. By the time his current contract ends, he'll be 37 at that point. So this is basically the Suns going all in on being a contender. At the moment, they're tied for 5th with Dallas in the West. Obviously, this trade would make them an immediate contender, but it also gets rid of almost every future asset that Phoenix had. Other than DeAndre Ayton, I think Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson were probably the most promising young players on the team. Not to mention the 4 unprotected first-round picks that they gave up, which go back as far as 2029. It's important to keep in mind because chances are in 6 years, Phoenix isn't going to be a contender at that point. Who knows how much the picks could be worth. It's a similar situation to how Brooklyn traded all of their draft picks for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett in the early 2010s, and that trade alone ended up being the reason why Boston landed guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Suns managed to keep Booker, Chris Paul and Ayton and just add KD on top of that, which was already a team that made it to the finals a few years ago. So it would be safe to say that it would be worth losing out on future assets just for those chances at making the finals. It's likely that the Suns saw that there wasn't a really strong team out in the West and figured it would be the best time to just go all in. But at the end of the day, considering that Chris Paul and Durant are currently in their mid-30s, if they don't make or don't win the finals this year, I think in the long run it's going to be an awful trade looking back at it. Now, after the trade, looking at the roster they've got at the moment, obviously beside the main 4, there's not much of a supporting cast around them. It was a pretty big hit to lose their best defender in Bridges. They're surrounded by guys like Damian Lee, Cam Payne, Saric, Shamet. They just got TJ Warren as well, and Torrey Craig make the starting lineup, I suppose. But for a team that didn't have a great bench as it was, for them to trade 2 key role players kind of leaves them a bit short-handed now. And sure, it takes them from a team that weren't really being seen as a contender for this year to probably a top 3 in the West team. But even then, I still don't, considering how bold of a move it is, I still don't see them as the favourites out of the West. It would probably be, you'd have to say Denver would be the favourite. A team with a lot more chemistry and having played together for a lot longer. Not to mention they're the first in the West by a mile at the moment. Obviously, a healthy Suns team now is an easy championship contender, but I think the biggest issue other than their depth would definitely be the health concerns, especially with KD and Chris Paul. Even Devin Booker at the moment is having issues with injuries. That might be the only thing stopping them from getting far in the playoffs. But only time would tell that. The only reason I would say that Brooklyn probably win this trade is because if we look back at it in like 3 or 4 years, and let's say the Suns don't win a championship, those 4 unprotected first-round picks, who knows what they'll turn into. So it's one of those things where, in hindsight, there's a good chance it could end up being a terrible trade for the Suns. I suppose at this point in time, it's probably a gamble that they would want to take anyway.